in the night, your heart fills with dread. Probably a murderer who wants you dead. It could be a ghost, a demon, or worse. Perhaps you're the victim of a witch's curse. It's hopeless, you're doomed. You'd call a priest if you could. You'd rather just listen to who? Sinisterhood. Hello and welcome to another edition of Freaky Friday, where we tell your odd but true stories. It is Friday, September 19th. And I'll tell you what, we're trucking ever closer to the season of the witch.
Season of the Witch is a song I just started to write just now. We'll see. It'll be finished by the time the show comes around on October 4th. Much like Taylor dropping her album on October 3rd. We're dropping our original song, Season of the Witch, on October 4th.
And the exciting thing is if you're not going to be in Dallas, you can join us. We are all set. The website is being built as we speak, and it will be live. The second it will be live, turn on your notifications for social media or Patreon. We'll definitely post it there as well, and make sure that you all know when it's open and available. And you also get the merch. We just finalized the shirt that looks so badass. We're so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We had a good call with the Stream Team.
Hell yeah. Stream
that's
team.
what I'm calling them.
The Dream Team. Hell yeah.
Dream Team, Steam. That's too many. It's going to be so much fun, though. October 4th, Dallas, Texas, at the legendary Texas Theater in historic Oak Cliff. But like Heather said, if you're not there, you can still tune in, and it's going to be a witchy good time.
We cannot wait. So go to sinisterhood.com/live shows and all the info is there.
I'm wearing my witch hat in
ready
preparation. Not an actual witch hat.
It just says witch.
Baseball cap that says witch. Which I feel like is the soccer mom's version of being a witch.
There you go. You just have it right there. And also blocks your sun, right? Yeah. Blocks the sun from your eyes. Win-win.
Well, we have quite a lineup today to get us ready for spooky season, which is right around the corner. If you see in the background, I got my cauldron back there.
Hell yeah.
We've been cooking up some stuff.
Heck yeah. I did not notice that the cauldron was in the background.
The cauldron is there now.
Well, now is the time. So if you've been waiting to send your spooky, freaky Friday story in, send them in right now, because we got to have a freaky October. So like the spookiest, freakiest October. So throw them on us with like crazy stuff that happened on Halloween, getting chased by stuff, or real haunted houses you try to trick or treat at. I don't care what it is. I'm trying to hear all those stories.
I have one tagged already that involves Halloween. So if that's your story, it's coming up. But I would love a whole October of Halloween themed Freaky Fridays would be great. So send them on in. Well, in the meantime, we have got quite a lineup involving some of my worst fears as a kid, which I've talked about many times.
We're like, well, turns out it's real. Great.
Sometimes the tropes we see in the horror movies stem from real life, you know?
Seems like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm Christy.
I'm Heather.
And let's get freaky. This first one's from Kendall and is called White Van Story. Hey ladies, love the show, but that's not what this is about. This is about my brush with true crime. I'm not sure how old I was, probably like 11 or 12, but I remember the rest of this event pretty well. For reference, we lived in an area that wasn't quite rural, but wasn't the kind of suburb where houses are all packed in on top of each other. Each home was probably on a few acres, and they were all set back from the street. One day, my sister and I were out walking our dogs when we were passed by a white van from behind. Being normal preteens, we made some kind of joke about a white van grabbing us, and we carried on with our walk. It was at that point that the white van turned around and passed us again. It was strange, but we figured that the driver just missed a turn and needed to go the other way. We continued our walk and turned down a different street after the van had gone past us. It started to get even creepier when the white van appeared on the same street to pass us again. The only way they could have done so is if they had turned around for a second time. A little nervous, we decided to head home. After all, it could be a coincidence, but this was a white van. Every preteen knows that's what kidnappers drive. As we started making our way back home, the van appeared again. This time, it seemed to be driving slowly behind us. We stepped aside so the car could pass, not that it couldn't have before, and it darted past us. We waited till it was a bit down the road, and then we picked up the pace. Right as we reached our driveway, the white van appeared again. We ran down the long driveway, watching as the van slowed down as it went by. When we got home, we told our family and thought that was the end of it. It was not. The next day, my parents went out to go do something, leaving my twin and I home alone with our older sister. At some point, we heard a vehicle, and I went to look out the window. As I said before, the houses were all set back from the road, and it seemed pretty quick for my parents to be home already. It was not my parents. There, parked outside of my house, was the same white van. I hollered for my sister, and by the time they got to me, there was a man out of the vehicle, crouching down with his hands on his knees, trying to peek through the windows. At this point, there were a lot of different things we could have done, but for some unknown reason, our solution was for my older sister to go get her BB gun. This BB gun was wood and designed to look more like a rifle, so I guess our hope was that he would think it was real. Whatever our thought process, my sister came back with her BB gun and held it up to be visible. Without another word, the man got back in his van and drove away. We never saw him again.
Man, the sister came out like you ready to roll, man?
Bitch.
I'll shoot your eye out. Like
Dude.
BB guns, like I'll shoot your eye out.
It's not a bad idea. We have like a little air rifle, which does not look at all like a real pew-pew. But from afar, if I held it up and brandished it, you know, if it's one dude that's like already a little, looking a little skeeved out a bit, I bet I could scare him off. But you did the right thing, because what good could this guy have possibly been up to? Nothing. He knew where you lived, unfortunately.
Best case scenario, he's there to steal your TV. Worst case scenario, he's there to get you. And like the following part, it's funny because my dad was a newspaper delivery man, so he always drove a white van. So my friends would always be like, "Oh, your house is the one with the kidnapper van in front of it." And I'm like, we could call it a cargo van. We could call it anything else. To be fair, it was a windowless white Chevrolet van.
Windowless too?
I mean, the passenger and driver windows, but no windows.
No other windows.
And then he got rid of that one because, you know, like it got old or whatever. And he bought one and it was the same make and model, but then it was like tan and blue and it had shag carpet and like bench seating, and he had to take it all out because he had to use it for the newspapers. But for a while it just had the carpet in there. And I was like, "Daddy, why is this van carpeted?" And he was just like, "Just keep, you know, things don't get scratched when you put them in the back."
Yeah,
the van.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
and if you get tired and you want to take a nap, it's more comfortable than just laying down on the floor.
Yeah, but no, you can't be, if you have a white van, you have to go the regular speed, especially around kids. You can't slow down. You can't.
And you can't keep turning around and making other passes at them, and then you definitely can't show up the next day at their house and get out trying to peek through the windows.
No.
Big sister's about to come correct.
She did it right.
I'm telling you, I was so scared of being kidnapped as a child. I really feel like it was all the after school specials and the PSAs and the more you knows that we got shoved down our throats, and Dare and all of that shit that put the fear of a lot of things that could have happened, but I should not have been as scared as I was that they were going to happen.
It was very in the forefront of our minds. I mean, to be fair, I was the same-ish age as Amber Hagerman, which is so heart-wrenching to think about now, given that I'm fucking 38, right? But that's the Amber Alert is Amber Hagerman from the DFW area. Yeah. And I distinctly remember not too long after, you know, maybe 3 or 4 months where, you know, she's still missing. They're not entirely sure what's happening. And a friend of mine and I were playing out front, and her mom was like, "Get inside. You don't want to be like that girl that they're all talking," you know, and it became this kind of cautionary tale, I think, because it was DFW and is unsolved, right? You know, they could
still to this day
be there. Yeah. So I think it got drilled into our heads. Like when you saw some shit like that, a truck, and that one, it was like a truck or whatever, but it was like, run, like, no, grown-ups don't need to talk to you. They don't need your help. They don't need directions. Like, now it's like, you're asking me for directions, bitch, get a GPS. Like, No.
Yeah, no. I can't imagine a scenario in which I would pull over on the side of the road and ask a child for directions somewhere.
No. If I saw a kid like bleeding on the side of the road, I'd probably roll up my window like, are you okay? Can I call 911 for you? Like that if the kid needs help, but I'm not trying to get the kid to help me.
Do you mean like when Simon took off running down the fucking street the other day in our neighborhood after some friends that left our house? Did I not tell you this?
Did you?
And a woman pulled over on the side of the road because we had yet to get to him. Luckily, it was a nice woman. But, you know, when you see a 4-year-old just hauling ass down the sidewalk by themselves, it is cause for concern. Luckily, someone not in a white van. And even if they weren't a white van, if they had been a newspaper salesman, I would have been happy with that.
Grateful.
But we, all was well, but it happened so fast. And you just, the panic and fear I had as the parent that's like, holy shit, when Ella just comes running back in like, Simon took off down the street. Yeah. I, of course, am not dressed to go running down the fucking road. So Tommy has to go after him. And that fear is worse even than the one I had as a kid, that it was going to be me, the one getting kidnapped.
Well, maybe we just got to put Simon in track and then be like, you can run as fast as you want around the track in a circle where we can see you from the stands, but not down the street. Not down the street, do that, buddy. You can't go down the street, but you're fast, and we love that you're fast.
So fast.
It's good for you.
He's so fast.
Aunt Heather's going to take him running when he's big enough. Let's go run, baby.
Oh, he's big enough. He can go run.
Let's go run.
Your exercise is chasing after him. He's so fast.
Oh, well, yeah, like you said, luckily it was a friendly lady. That's when you pull over for a kid, when it's like, do you need help, buddy?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going? Where are you coming from? And where are you going to? And it's like, no plans for the former.
Oh, man. Well, he didn't have a BB gun with him, surprisingly. It's only a matter of time till he's running down the street with that air rifle.
Very least a slingshot.
Oh, my gosh. When we were camping, Ella found, in its natural form, the perfect slingshot stick.
Hell yeah.
Stick.
The stick found her.
The stick found her. Two, these going up. And she was like, now all I need is a piece of string and a rock and something to shoot. I was like, I think we'll just stop with the stick.
Yeah,
we're going to stop right there.
Keep the stick. You can divine water with it too, maybe, instead of pulling it to throw things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
But they're out. I was like, damn, these things really do exist. No wonder like people use these back in the day.
Get you a rubber band. You're good to go. Then if somebody does come to your window, pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Well, we're so glad that ended up not any worse than it could have been, Kendall. And shout out to Big Sis for being like,
for real,
I got this.
Sinisterhood will be right back.
Bad habits can lead to bad outcomes, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where FÜM Zero comes in.
This episode is sponsored by FÜM Zero, the brand new grab-and-go flavored air device from FÜM. Here's why it's different. It's affordable. Just $24.99 US for a sleek, pre-filled device. No commitment, no refills, no batteries. It's completely clean, zero nicotine, zero vapor, just natural, plant-based flavored air. It's the first truly easy way to try the good habit. With 6 bold flavors and over 10 days of use, Zero makes it simple to start.
We had some friends over the other night, and I said, why don't you try this FÜM out? And he loved it. He said it was great, loved the fidgety stuff, loved the flavors. Now he has it, and it's working out great for him. So
nice.
I like to see a product that is in the moment. I can see, like, I see this working right now in real life. Like it's helping you right this very second.
Yeah, it feels good. Like in your hand, it's comfortable to mess with and fidget with if you have that, like you just want to mess with something. And also it tastes good when you take a whole suck of that plant-based flavored air. It's nice. Go get you a FÜM.
Take 0 chances with FÜM Zero today. Available for just $24.99 US. Just head to tryfum.com. That's TRYFUM.com to start with Zero.
That's TRYFUM.com to start with Zero.
Well, this next one's from Carissa, who sent in 2 short stories. The first one is called Encountering a Nearly Kidnapped Woman. Hello, Heather and Christy. My name is Carissa. You know the drill. I love you both so much. I'm so happy I found your podcast, and I can't wait to see you on tour someday. If possible, I'd love if your next tour were to come near my neck of the woods, North Dakota, Minnesota. I feel kinship with you, and you make it feel like I'm laughing along while listening to friends chat when listening to the pod. Keep up the great work. Today, I have 2 short stories for you. Story number 1, Encountering a Nearly Kidnapped Woman. This takes place during March of 2017 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was living in the city, and I had 2 good friends staying with me for a weekend visit. We're all 22 years old. We had been hanging out and enjoying time exploring the city when we got hungry and decided to go out to eat. We picked a sushi place and headed there. It was later in the evening after the dinner rush, around 8 p.m. or so, and the sun sets early up north in the winter, so it had been dark for at least a couple of hours at that point. I parked on the street close to the entrance. We got out of my car, then started walking toward the front door of the restaurant, when I noticed a woman down the block who was heading in our direction. She was jogging toward us and glancing around, looking a bit frantic. She was still about half a block away, and it was tough to distinguish her expression initially due to the area being lit only by the streetlights. I had only moved to the city a few months prior, and I am from a much smaller town, so my guard was up a bit. My worries about her were soon quelled because the woman was getting closer, and as she approached our group, I could now tell she had been crying and was very shaken and clearly upset about something. She seemed close to our age and was tall and blonde. She asked if we could help her and began to explain to us that she was nearly forced into a van against her will. She had gone out alone to a nearby bar and had begun chatting with a man there. After a bit, this guy eventually got her to go outside with him, and when he'd gotten her out to the parking lot, he and another man, who had been waiting for them to come out, attempted to force her into a van. Miraculously, she was able to get away from them, and she just ran and ran until she found us and told us what she just experienced. We were all stunned upon hearing this, and I immediately dialed 911 on my phone. I began telling the operator which street we were on and about this girl that had just approached us who needed help ASAP, while my friends comforted her. The operator said they needed to get more details from the girl, so I handed my phone to her so she could relay the necessary info. We didn't have to wait long because the police vehicle arrived after about 2 minutes and we flagged it down. The girl was still on the phone with 911 and started walking to where the police car had pulled up, except she still had my phone in her hand. I walked into the street after her, just as the police put her in the squad car. I knew she was very much in distress, but I needed my phone back. I told them she still had my cell phone, and she handed it over to the officer, and they handed it back to me. I truly think she was just in a state of shock and didn't mean to walk away with my phone at all, as she'd been talking with the 911 operator and just instinctively went straight to the police who were there to help her. If I were in her situation, I can't say I would have acted much differently. Though, in retrospect, where was her phone? Maybe she dropped it during her escape or left it at the bar? Who knows? All I know is I'm glad she was able to get to safety and report the incident to the police. Hopefully there was camera footage of the criminals from the bar, but unfortunately there's no way for me to know if this situation was resolved or if justice was served. We never even got the girl's name. My friends and I did end up going into the restaurant. We tried to enjoy our sushi and drinks, but there was a bit of a damper on our evening, which I know sounds silly because it was nothing compared to what that girl had just gone through. We talked about how crazy the encounter was, how life is so unpredictable, and how thankful we were to have been in the right place at the right time to be a safe haven for that girl, even if just for a few minutes. Story number 2, Phantom Phone Calls from My Grandma. Short side note / tribute to my grandma. My last living grandparent, my lovely Grandma Muriel, died on New Year's Day of 2024. My last living grandparent, my lovely Grandma Muriel, died on New Year's Day of 2024, the year this story takes place. She loved God, playing cards and dice games, painting, quilting and crafts, and her family most of all. She and my grandfather were together for 60 plus years, and they raised 5 children and were blessed with many grandkids and great-grandkids. She had a quiet fierceness about her that lives on in the women of my family to this day, and we miss her very much. Also, I should mention this story is truly my Aunt Jenny's, who is my grandma's youngest child, as I wasn't personally there when these instances happened, but she told me, and I knew they had to be shared here with her permission. On to the main story. My family is good about getting together for major holidays like Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc., including celebrating milestone birthdays together. My Uncle Bob was turning 60 that spring, so to celebrate, a bunch of the family took a trip together to Nashville in March. While 3 of the 5 siblings and several of their children were all out together at a bar, my Aunt Jenny got a phone call. The screen lit up, and the name that appeared read, Mom. Jenny mentioned the phantom call to the others. My grandma had passed away in January, so it obviously couldn't actually be her calling, could it? Time marched on, and the next month was my mom Karen's birthday. Not a milestone one, but my aunts made it special for her by bringing her to a winery where, as a surprise, they also invited their cousin, who is a hoot, and their aunt, who's in her 90s, is my grandma's last remaining sibling and is an absolute firecracker. While the group of gals were chatting together, laughing, playing games, and sipping wine, Jenny received a phone call. She nudged Karen to show her the phone screen, which was lit up and displaying a name. You guessed it, Mom. I was told all this after the fact, but when Jenny was relaying the story to me, I got butterflies and goosebumps at the same time. I asked, "Did you answer it?" And she confirmed she did, but it was only silence on the other end. For this to happen not once, but twice, when big parts of our family were gathered for special occasions, made my heart swell. I've never had any kind of other side encounter myself, but it warms my heart knowing my sweet grandma is still watching over us somehow and making her presence known. She must be so pleased that we all still make time for family gatherings and birthdays. After I'd gotten permission to tell her story and had Jenny read it to confirm details, she replied to my email saying, "Maybe I'll get a phone call in October when we're on our sister's trip." Heart emoji. Since my mom and her sisters are going on a trip to Myrtle Beach this fall, so I'll be sure to keep you Sinisterhood ladies and the listeners posted. One last thing. As I mentioned, my grandma was an artist, and one of her favorite things to paint were monarch butterflies. I saw one recently while I was with my mom, and I said, "Hi, Grandma." And then she followed suit and said, "Hi, Mom," while the butterfly flew around us for a few moments. Whenever I see one, I make sure to greet her. I know many others cherish seeing monarch butterflies and associate them with their past loved ones as well. May we all hold them in our hearts forever. Wishing you, your families, and pets all the best. Lots of love, Carissa. P.S. I'm attaching photos of my fur babies as tags for telling 2 stories, but also since I know y'all love seeing them. Daisy is the brown applehead chihuahua. She is 10 and such a love bug, but as with any she can be spicy. Mia is the Maltese Yorkie mix, and she's 12 and would steal food from your plate if given the chance.
Well, first of all, look at that chihuahua.
I am obsessed with Daisy.
Yeah, dude. Look at Daisy.
If I came upon a dog right now that looked like Daisy, Daisy would be coming home with me.
Take my long hair applehead. Come on now.
Look at that. Applehead jeans, boots with the fur. She does have fur. That
with her paws with the fur.
She is so cute. I love it. And also that little Maltese. Oh my goodness. They look like they're 2 little scamps. I love it.
Mia looks like she's a little stuffy. She's too cute. Or like a Pixar dog for sure.
Yes, she does.
A sweetheart. Well, first of all, like walking down the street in the darkness and you moved to the city from a small town, I would be like, a ghoul is coming at me. But in fact, when it's like this would happen to me in Chicago, and that girl's coming, like people were just passing a woman sobbing, and I was like, are you okay? And she was just like, no, I just got robbed. It's like, sometimes like this girl's just like running and it's like, and so you're like, are you okay? And it's like, some dude's trying to put me in a van. You're just like,
that's insane, dude.
I need another human that's normal, please. Like, thank God this woman found you guys. Like, wow.
Terrifying, and such a grift too, to prey on a single woman at a bar and then get her outside and somebody's waiting.
Try to snatch her.
Oh man. Yeah.
In a van, nonetheless.
In a van. Yes. There's a reason these two came one after the other.
Unless
it doesn't stop just when you're a kid.
No.
The white van persists through adulthood.
He's getting out with a big bunch of newspapers. Then, you've traveled through time. Because no one delivers that many newspapers anymore. But no,
it's okay.
You've done the right thing being kind to that girl, though. Like, even though she tried to walk off through, like you said, I don't think she meant to do that. She was just like disoriented.
Oh, so frazzled. Yeah. Yes. But good for y'all for taking time, because especially in big cities like Chicago or Minneapolis, like a lot of times either people are just not aware of their surroundings because they got a one-track mind, or you don't want to get involved because weird shit happens in big cities. So good for you for seeing a woman in distress and being like, I think we need we can put off the California roll for a second and see how we can help her.
Yeah, we can get our sushi later on. But, and then I love that your grandma's still keeping in touch. Man. That's great. After all these years, I would freak out. If my phone rang and it said dad or something, I would just be like, ugh! Like,
yeah. There was a time when, I think when Tommy and I had like first started dating, somehow like I was sending him my mom's contact info to his phone. And so it got stored in his phone as mom.
Oh.
And on his birthday, we were headed to lunch and the phone rang and it said mom.
Oh, man.
And that was rough. And I mean, it was just a total accident, and it was my mom calling him.
Yeah, yeah.
But just
which
that
is normally
feeling
a happy
of like
thing for Kathy to call.
Yes.
I would love for Kathy to call me.
But seeing like mom pop up
wrenching
when his mom had already passed is gut wrenching. Yeah, if my phone rang and it said dad, first of all, my dad died long before I've had this phone, so that would be weird.
Yeah, right.
But stomach drop, but twice
consciousness. Yeah.
And it happens when you're all in a big thing and you answer, because I was like, tell me. She answered. Luckily, Carissa asked the question we were all wanting to know. Did you answer it? And just silence.
Dude, what does it mean? What does it mean? I'm so curious about the idea of like it's energy, spirit, whatever you want to call it, interacting with technology, just because a lot of the processes are the same, especially fucking came up on my FYP page. Speaking of which, we'll talk about TikTok in a minute. The brain organoids that they have growing in a lab that they've then
they're butterflies.
That, and then also they've attached some of them to little cars. So like the cars can, the little tiny, like little, almost like an RC car, it can take in sensory input, and then the brain organoids can like, process
so a car like a child's toy car?
It's like a little, I mean, it's not a toy, but like, but it's the same size though, 100%. Like a little bitty, And
what, the brains make them run?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because are they out and about or on a track? Where are they?
The cars can just go around the lab. And I believe it's like a connection though, that's like almost like RC, where the organoid's like, in a jar on the desk, I guess it says Abby Normal. And then it's connected to the little remote. It runs. Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe they put it inside of it. That seems dangerous, but yeah, no, they do. Yeah. And they do think they're butterflies. I don't know what we're doing, people. We're messing with it. But anyways, but all that to say like, okay, well, now the technology and what does that mean then if there's like an organoid that is conscious? So then when our meat bodies die, like what is the thing that is, I don't know. There's questions unanswered that science is poking around. We're poking around though.
Many unanswered questions. Interesting that those organoids believe they're butterflies.
They were given that, yeah.
You, in your story, you have a connection with butterflies and your grandma. I know you, Heather, also have said you think of monarchs when you see, or you think of your grandma when you see monarchs. So I guess like monarchs and cardinals are kind of universal loved ones that have passed, maybe embodying these or directing them there somehow to just say, what's up?
Who knows? But if at best case scenario, it's a loved one spirit visiting you. Worst case scenario, a butterfly just came up to you. Like, congratulations. So I feel like it's win-win.
Or a cardinal.
Or birds. Yeah, all the time. I love it.
Every time I see a cardinal, even if I don't think it's a loved one, I'm like, what a pretty red bird to just bless me with its presence. Or like a blue jay or a bluebird.
10 times out of 10, I would rather ride my bike or run at White Rock because there's so many cool birds. I love to find them, look at them, see them. You got to dodge the nutria, certainly, but the birds are beautiful.
Stop it. You have not had to dodge a nutria.
I've seen 2 of them. Paris took a picture. He thought it was a beaver.
Yeah, I know that. But no, are they in the water?
No, they're usually like on the bank of the water, like
do they look like capybaras?
They look like, like tiny beavers without beaver tails or like little capybaras. I mean, they are giant, like rodent-ish things, I guess. I think they're kind of cute.
Though.
People will stop and take pictures of them and they get so excited about them.
Do they have rat tails?
I don't know if I saw its little butt, but I don't think they have beaver tails.
That's the determining factor for me, and I'm sorry, but I am biased with the tail. Because the rat tail and the possum tail are different than a tail with hair or fur.
Oh, you're talking about like a little nude,
Yeah, I don't like a nude tail. I like a hairy tail.
Yeah, try to get that back bush. You don't want to just plain back there. They're kind of cute, large, invasive.
Capybaras have no tails.
Semi-aquatic rodents.
So is a capybara.
Show me that ass. Oh yeah, no, it does. It does have it's kind of like leathery, the nutria tail, and then it looks, and then
leathery.
There's a little bit of hair on it. I don't know if you can quite make it out, but it is its own thing. Honestly, I mean, it's the teeth that throw me off.
Do they look like just? Is it like if it was
they
a
have
giant guinea pig?
It does. They have giant orange front teeth.
Oh,
that's
why
what
are they orange?
Great question. That's what is.
They don't have dentists.
It looks like he has carrots in his mouth. Yeah,
it does. Those are orange.
Yeah, so
maybe it's from what they
nutria,
eat.
Damage habitat and spread disease. People said so. I mean, it's not all good.
Uh-oh, there it is. I knew you were going to find something fucked up about these things because at the end of the day, they're just giant rats.
Well, this title says nightmare nutria, damage habitat, and spread disease, but make a delicate dish. So maybe that's just my search result.
It's we know what you like.
Do you like eating capybara? You might also like nutria. It's local. And I'm like, I'm not eating the rat with the orange mouth. Thank you very much.
That's I love, fresh seafood. I don't think I'm getting that in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat the fish I get out of White Rock Lake.
Hell no.
Some people do. I probably have it like a fish fry and unknowingly eaten it. But I've eaten Lake Ray Hubbard fish, I think, or Lake Levon fish for sure. But White Rock's way different.
Yeah.
It's a runoff.
Yeah. Don't
eat that fish. They do have nice birds though. So I don't eat them. I just look at them. Yeah.
Don't eat the fish or nutria, but enjoy the birds while you're there. And we will definitely post these 2 little cuties on our socials so everybody can look at them and see the dog I'm now in search of.
Yeah, I want a little Disney movie with it, or like a Pixar movie starring both of them.
Yeah. How could you get mad if that came around the corner at you and those little hairy ears and just that expression what?
And know it's just like, "Bark, bark, bark, bark," just like the goose. And I love it.
Oh, man. Well, thank you so much for your story and for these wonderful pups.
Sinisterhood will be right back. This is an ad by BetterHelp.
We've all done it before, turning to our barista, hairdresser, or random stranger in the bathroom for life advice. As fun as they are to talk with about everyday topics, when you're looking for help about relationships, anxiety, depression, or other clinical issues, they may not have all the right answers. Instead, get guidance from a licensed therapist online with BetterHelp.
I love my BetterHelp therapist. I see her every Monday, and I feel like, I don't want to take my stuff out on other people. I like to internally process things, but also you can't keep it all inside. So it's good to have a sounding board, somebody with advice. I can share with her about, my faith, things that work for me. And she can find for me, coping mechanisms that help me in the unique position that I'm at. And I'm very happy to find her, and I'm very happy to get to talk to her from my back porch and I don't have to leave my house.
BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. And it works with an App Store rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client reviews.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse array of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp.
Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/sinister. That's betterhelp.com/sinister. Well, this next one ties in with the episode that we re-released this week. This is from Casey and is called An Unexpected Shower Guest at the Brown Palace Hotel. Hey ladies, how you been? Last time I wrote in, I told y'all about my possessed grandma in Something's Got a Hold on Grandma in Freaky Friday 82. That was forever ago, but I still remember listening to you read it for Freaky Friday while working at this small family deli. Let's just say some heard me hoot, others heard me holler, and most just heard a ruckus. Needless to say, I was thrilled. Before we get to the story, I just gotta say, you ladies have really helped me get through some of the worst years of my life and are currently with me through one of the best. This year I converted to Islam, married the love of my life, and moved cities. Y'all have been the soundtrack to all of my endeavors. Your banter, wheezing laughter, enthusiasm for the weird, and love for each other has made such a difference. I know I'm speaking for the entire Sinisterhood community when I say we're all so grateful for you macabre mamas, which has to be it's not margarita mamas anymore. It's macabre mamas now.
You wear the witch hat too.
Oh yeah. Anyways, on to the story. So, in Something's Got a Hold on Grandma, I think I mentioned that my father was a paranormal investigator. He stopped doing formal investigations with his group when I was a kid. But once my sister Harmony and I were old enough, we did investigations with him. We would go on, quote, paranormal vacations for our investigations. To make sure all experiences were genuine, my dad would never tell us where we were going or where we were staying. He would literally just say the state we were going to. This time he said, "Girls, we're going to Colorado." My dad had 3 haunted locations planned for this trip, the first being the Brown Palace in Denver. It was every bit as gorgeous as you said. Everything was so classic, I was in love. Looking over the railings on each floor made you feel like royalty looking over a balcony. My sister and I were so excited. We had never been somewhere so nice. Harm and I shared a room on the 4th floor, and our dad had a room a few doors down from us. The idea was to basically explore Denver during the day, and at night, see if anything happened. Ask who was there, capture some EVPs, typical ghosty things. For whatever reason, it never crossed my mind that something might happen during the day, at least not here. In the mid-afternoon on our second day in Denver, my dad and sister wanted to take a nap. We'd been going non-stop, and since nothing had happened paranormally the first night, it was agreed we would all rest up for the evening ahead. I've never been one to take a nap. It's always been hard for me to sleep during the day. So I took this opportunity to take a nice hot shower. As my sister slept, I laid my beautifully flowy black dress for the evening out on my side of the king-size bed, gathered my shower supplies from my suitcase, and made my way over to what was going to be my personal chamber of steamy oasis. The bathroom was huge. It had a massive tub, and next to the tub was a huge walk-in shower surrounded by glass panels. The shower head was positioned in the left half of the shower, and to the right was a ledge that was wide enough to sit with ample room to put all my shower stuff. Just to clarify, I never sat down on that ledge. I was also the first person to use this shower since we got this room. I cranked on the shower. Once the water heated to a degree fit for the devil, I was under it and in heaven. Surprisingly, even in June, Denver was cold. It felt more like early spring than the beginning of summer, so it was nice to finally be able to warm up. Steam collected on the glass, and you could hardly see through it. I lathered my hair, rinsed it, and as I wiped the water from my eyes, I noticed it. There, on the glass surrounding the ledge, was the impression of someone sitting. It looked like their back was pressed against the glass behind the ledge, and their left arm and leg pressed against the glass next to the door. I froze. I was covered in goosebumps and had a sinking feeling in my gut. This was a really weird position to be in with a ghost. In all honesty, I turned around and ignored it because it's better to pretend it's not there than to acknowledge it, right? Maybe it was a poorly cleaned part of the shower. Maybe I'm just freaking myself out. I really tried to rationalize this, but I still felt like someone was watching me. I finished my shower, and when I turned around to leave out the shower door, it was still there. But it looked like it had moved, the same way the glass streaks when you drag your hand across a steamy mirror. I practically ran out of there, dried off with lightning speed, threw on a towel, and sped down the hallway, all the while trying to holler at my sister, who was impossible to wake, to get up because we're going to Dad's room. Her snoring never ceased, and she didn't budge. As I passed by the wall at the entrance to the bedroom, I stopped dead in my tracks. Next to my side of the bed, there was an office table with a stationary chair on the right and an office chair with wheels on the left. I watched the office chair slowly roll itself away from the table, then it turned to face me. Ladies, I swear on everything, the room got so cold. I snatched my dress from the bed, shook my sister awake, and threw it on as we ran down the hallway to the door, snatched my purse, and we bolted to Dad's room. Dad begrudgingly opened the door, and I explained to him what had happened. Harmony and I were both pretty freaked out. He said, "Well, let's go take a look at it." He checked out our room. The chair was still facing where I had been standing, but the impression on the glass was gone. However, the room still felt like we weren't alone. We decided to leave and grab a bite in the city to get out of the hotel for a while and get our minds on something other than ghosts. A couple days later, as we were on our way to our next haunted location, it ended up being the Stanley, my dad said he believed us. Apparently, the night before, he had his own brief encounter. He had set my sister and I up for an hour or two for our first ever spa experience in the basement of the hotel. It was great. Highly recommend. As we were getting our spa on, he headed to his room for some alone time, aka to probably get stoned with his pen and watch some TV. It was only him and one other man in the elevator when they began to hear children laughing and playing really loud on the floor above them that they were supposed to get off on. Dad said he and the man exchanged a glance of, "Oh, great, loud-ass kids on our floor." As the elevator settled, Dad said it sounded like those kids were literally right outside the door. But when the doors opened, it suddenly became silent. He and the man looked at each other, wide-eyed, but the guy just shrugged and got off. Dad decided to go back down to the first floor and have a beer instead. The story freaked us out. I have chills just thinking about what it would have been like to experience that. Though they were spooky times, I'm so grateful for each of the otherworldly experiences we were able to share together. Dad's death anniversary/birthday was this past August. It's been 3 years since he passed, and we miss him every day. My sister and I will always cherish him in his search for the unknown. I hope he got all the answers to his questions when he crossed over. He still stops in from time to time just to check in. Thank you, ladies, for reading my story and giving each of us a space to talk about the things that get us crazy looks from the general public. I hope you enjoyed reading about our stay at the Brown Palace. Maybe next time I'll write in about our experiences at the Hawthorne Hotel in Salem. Keep on creeping on. I can't wait to hear what else you guys cover. Stay safe, stay spooky, and keep it creepy. Much love, Casey. P.S. I attached some pictures below. The last photo my dad, sister, and I took together. The menu we framed from the Brown Palace, a photo of my husband and I, plus bonus photos of my sweet puppy, Tedwardo, in his formal spooky attire.
Tedwardo is very dapper looking in this.
Tedwardo will do tricks for treats, according to the bandana he's wearing.
Nice. And that Brown Palace logo, I recognize that. Absolutely. And you and your husband are very cute together. What else? You're right. Casey described it well. Like you're a royalty looking over the balcony.
Oh,
it is such a grand place.
It is. It is.
So grand.
If you're confused because Casey said, I ran down the hallway to the bed. No, that is correct. No. If you remember, there's the door to enter the hotel
Yeah.
room, and there's literally an 8-foot hallway until you get to where the bed was. And we all commented on it as well.
We're like,
because it would be like, hold on, it takes a minute to get to the door when somebody knocks.
Yeah, they're like, room service, and you're like, I'm in here, I promise. They're probably
I'll be there.
Yeah, by now. But I feel like too with like the elevators, because it is like, if you've not been to the Brown Palace, and I mean, we somewhat described it in the show, but from her dad's perspective, when the elevator doors open and you step out, you can pretty much see, it's not like a standard hotel where there's hallways. Because of the atrium in the middle, you really can see like the whole floor. So if her dad heard a passel of laughing kids and you got off, you would, and also you could kind of like duck your head out and almost look up and be like, oh, were the kids up there? So the fact that it was immediately quiet when the doors opened is aberrant. Like that is strange, because it's like that area, especially because we were there during the Champagne Cascade, was fucking loud. Like there was a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So
which also was awesome. If you're there at Christmas time, check it out. We wanted to go to that spa. It was recommended ad nauseum by everybody that it was like such an amazing spa. So I'm so glad you got to go to it.
Hell yeah. No, and we did not get to go to high tea, but I would love to go to high tea at any time there.
No, but isn't that where the steak place was?
That's oh yeah, it's called like, not like the sailboat. I'm sure we talked about it in the episode. Ship shape or whatever it is. It's so good.
Ships in or something,
something like that. It's
with
so
that
good.
Biggest steak I've ever had.
I haven't been fucking with
baked
meat
potato and all the dressings.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was good. We also went to a really fun escape room there. That was a fun trip.
That was a really good trip. Also, the Stanley, I was like, damn, we got to go back. We need to go back to the Stanley.
I think they've redone it some since we've been there too.
We definitely need to. We'll do a redo on it. We'll do a whole different Stanley. We need to bring Nelson. Bring the crew out. Meet us in Denver. Let's do it.
Dude, I've been trying to get to we're trying to get to Denver always.
We always want to get to Denver.
Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita. Well, maybe we have a trip coming up.
Let's do it, man. That's the next one, especially like weather-wise. Like, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. 90 degrees. I'm dying, dude. I'm dying. Don't let this hoodie fool you. It's just because the air conditioner's cranking. Well, thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
You've re-inspired us to go to Denver.
Yes, and congratulations on all your wonderful life changes. Yeah. And thank you for the kind words and allowing us to be in your ears during all these things. That goes for everybody.
Definitely. And thanks for sharing your daddy with us. I hope, hope he makes his presence known, and he's definitely proud of you, carrying on his spooky legacy.
Oh, yes.
Sinisterhood will be right back.
This episode is brought to you by IQBAR, our exclusive snack sponsor. IQBAR is the better-for-you, plant protein-based snacks made with brain-boosting nutrients to refuel, nourish, and satisfy hunger without the sugar crash.
If you want to try everything IQ Bar makes, which we would recommend, the Ultimate Sampler Pack is the way to go. It includes 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All their products are gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and made without GMOs or artificial sweeteners. The bars are packed with clean plant protein, fiber, and brain-boosting ingredients like magnesium, lion's mane, and adaptogens. IQ Mix helps with hydration and focus, while IQ Joe delivers smooth, jitter-free energy with 200 milligrams of natural caffeine and flavors better than any drip coffee.
With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. Their ultimate sampler pack includes all 3, and you gotta get it because they're all so good. I am so hungry right now, and I'm like, I'm about to go in there and get a peanut butter chip IQ bar because that's the one that I'm just crushing on lately. It's so good.
Man, we busted up the berry box, and Paris was like, do you want these? Can I have them? I'm like, well, I want some of them. Like we don't fight over the flavors, but certainly it's whoever gets there first and then they're gone. And the same with the IQ Mix. I love it. I put it in my water bottle when I go for a bike ride, and he loves the IQ Joe in the morning because he likes, he drinks his coffee plain and black, and that's how he likes it. Just mix it up, and it does give you that energy without the jitters.
Yeah. And the kids love them. They're always asking for IQ bars. We put them in their lunches. They're great to throw in your bag if you're going to the park or the pool or whatever. They're very filling.
They really
and they don't have that weird flavor that a lot of like bars
healthy
like this
bars
do. Yeah, no, they're delicious.
They taste good. You feel guilty eating them, but you shouldn't because they're good for you. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the sampler pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text CREEPY to 64,000. Text CREEPY to 64,000. That's CREEPY to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Text CREEPY to 64,000 to get 20% off all IQBAR products, plus free shipping. Message and data rates may apply.
Well, this next one is from my daughter, Anonymous, and the subject line is regarding episode 360 and TikTok censorship. Hey guys, I've been listening since spooky season of 2024, and I'm so glad I found you. In your recent 2-part episode of the Bayside Mall incident, you two talked about how censored TikTok has become this year, especially for the US. One of you mentioned that it's been this way since it went dark in January after the ban debacle, but I have proof that TikTok has been heavily censoring what content creators create since at least the 2024 election. I had somewhat of a small following on TikTok before it was banned in January, and I jumped ship the second I saw those praise our almighty precious leader Trump for saving TikTok messages from the TikTok corporate once it was back. I knew shit would officially never be the same thereafter. I made videos mostly about going back to college as an adult, non-traditional student, as well as a few other niche topics. In my about 3 years on TikTok, I had gained about 1,200 followers, which for TikTok is basically nothing. In other words, it's not like I was an influencer or anything like that, just a regular autistic girl who likes to speak my mind and info dump once in a while. I'm also a Black woman, which is relevant to the story, I promise. That being said, in the beginning of November 2024, like I'm sure many people, I was feeling unrelenting existential dread. I know that there were some people that were hopeful that Kamala would somehow pull through and win, but as a Black woman in this country, with the experiences I've had my whole life, I knew chances were very low. Every day I had an awful churning stomachache because I could see exactly what was coming. But one day, a few days before the election, I decided to be a bit brave and use what little platform I had for good. I opened TikTok and I recorded a 7-minute long video. In this video, I appealed to folks' humanity and I pleaded with them to care not just about racial minorities, about the LGBTQ community, about immigrants, about disabled people, and about women. And I also begged them to care about Black women. I begged them to listen to the Black women in their lives, to follow their example, not just with their vote, but in their daily lives. I begged them to prove me wrong about how America at large sees Black women. I begged for them to restore my faith in humanity and make a miracle happen. It was a hard video to record, and I was extremely vulnerable in it. I talked about how scared I was and how I felt like this was 2016 all over again. I knew there was a chance of this video making it to the wrong side of TikTok and that I could be harassed for this or worse, but I wanted to do the right thing. Then, at least that way, I could feel like I did my part to try and keep this country from doing what it absolutely ended up doing. After recording was done, I did a quick once-over with the edits, making sure the captions matched what I was saying for my fellow disabled folks to be able to watch it. I usually always save the video file directly to my phone before posting, because sometimes the app screws up and the upload gets corrupted or something else goes wrong. So I tried to save it to my phone, but for some reason, it wouldn't save. I just kept getting an error message. It was odd, but the app was screwy for me sometimes, so I told myself I'd save it after I posted it instead. I wrote a caption, crossed my fingers, then clicked post. I busied myself with watching videos of my FYP as I anxiously awaited the progress of the upload. Because it was 7 minutes long, it took forever. But finally it finished, and I got a notification saying I had been successfully posted. So I went to my profile, and it wasn't on my TikTok grid. I refreshed my profile a few times, and nothing. Okay, at this point, I think the shitty app is just being shitty again. So I closed it, restarted it. Sometimes, if it's open too long, it bugs out, might make my phone overheat. So I did all that, went back to my profile, and in the space where my new video should be was an empty white box with a 0 in the corner where it shows how many views there are. I tried opening it up just to see if the video played anyway, and all I got was a black screen with the message at the top that said, "This video is unavailable." I closed the app again, and this time uninstalled it, restarted my phone, reinstalled it, logged back in. When I went back to my profile, the white box was no longer there. Only all of my old videos were there. Slowly, I was realizing what happened. I went to my messages to check if I had one from an automated TikTok moderator saying that I broke one of the community guidelines, which is normally what happens when you get a video removed. There were no notifications, no messages, nothing. I checked the creator settings of my account to see if I had any strikes against it for violating rules. Nothing. Any sign of me supposedly breaking conduct or whatever, which is the only official reason TikTok removes a video, was nowhere to be found. And for hours afterwards, I kept checking my profile to see if it would appear. It didn't. The TikTok algorithm automatically reviews each video before it gets uploaded. And whatever the newer, more fascist version of TikTok picked up in my video, it decided my video needed to disappear without a trace. And that's exactly what happened. I recall a lot of Black creators on TikTok openly talking about how a lot of their videos were either removed or shadow banned even before this happened to me. But I heard about it even more during the election last year. There were for sure higher ups at TikTok or influences outside of it who were told to silence Black creators, especially if they were talking about politics or trying to combat misinformation and disinformation. So sadly, when all this happened to me too, I was shocked, but not surprised. And when I saw that the CEO of TikTok attended the inauguration in January, all the pieces fit together. I no longer create video content, especially on social media sites that are directly under the boot of fascist tech oligarchs that use their sites' algorithms to create the political outcomes that they want. I wanted to share this story with you two in hopes that it will remind folks of another facet of what we're up against, even on social media sites. Remember that there are some people that are more likely to be silenced, and if you're not in one of the groups who others seek to silence, please help lift up their voices. And thanks, Sinisterhood, for being a light to others in such terrifying times. Love you both and wish you nothing but safety, moments of comfort, and for both sides of your pillow to be the perfect level of coolness. Keep it creepy this spooky season. Thank you, Anonymous. This couldn't have come at a better time, given that September 17th was the expiration of the extension, and then the president signed a new extension to December 19th, some mid-December, and they have said that they have preliminarily reached a framework agreement about how TikTok will be owned going forward. So they said it's going to be majority owned by U.S. investors, with like ByteDance maintaining like a 25% hold TBD. And they have not announced officially who the investors are, but it's pretty much an open secret that it seems to be some combination of like Oracle, the large publicly traded technology company that does like cloud storage, because they had started Project Texas, as well as private equity firm Silver Lake and Andreessen Horowitz, which is a venture capital firm, as well as some others, like some combination.
So a bunch of people that have very similar interests and a lot of reason to control the information that everyone is seeing.
As someone said, if you were a billionaire and you made a huge donation and then you got to buy probably the most valuable app in the world, whatever amount of money you donated to the people in charge, it was worth it.
Yeah.
What a deal. So yeah, we'll still have like a TikTok presence and stuff, but it already is kind of different, and it's going to get, in my understanding, part of the agreement that once this deal is finalized, that the U.S. algorithm will be 100% different than the international algorithm and will be solely controlled out of perhaps Texas, but somewhere else stateside.
Great. Yeah. Wonderful. Grand.
Yeah. So it's and also the information that comes from it. If everybody before was like, this app might be sending, selfies back of me, what I'm watching, how long I spend on the app, what I'm interested in, messages I'm sending. It's sending these to the Chinese government. Don't worry, guys. Now they're sending them to the federal government.
Oh, great.
States. So
that's even better.
Your FBI
Totally
agent's
fine.
like, let me get your FYP dog.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to meet my FBI bestie one day.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, is it a nightmare working for Cash App Patel? Maybe so. But yeah, so anyway, well, keep an eye on TikTok, and you're not anonymous. You're not crazy. You're not wrong.
No.
I tried to send a DM to a friend the other day, just I don't know what word caught it, but it was something, a kind of a jokey DM. And I got a message that was like, this message can't be sent. So I screenshot and I was going to DM him a picture of the screenshot, and it was like, you can't send that screenshot. So I had to text him Groiper, I assume. I was like jokingly being like, oh, you said you could, like, oh, I couldn't predict this. And I was like, yeah, nobody could. It turns out like this is a whole new thing called Groipers. And it was like, you can't send this.
Yeah.
At all.
That word did flag it, I bet.
So things are afoot.
Oh, yes.
Very sinister.
Been. Very, very.
Well, thank you, Anonymous, for sharing your experience.
Yes.
Sinisterhood. We'll be right back. Well, this next one's from Sarah in Denton, a different one. And the subject line is someone at the door, or Alexa, play Who Can It Be Now by Men at Work.
Sorry for everyone who just that queued up. Or you're welcome because it's a banging song.
Yeah. Well, Sarah writes, "Hey friends, love y'all. I grew up in Denton, Texas, and while I would have been in middle school when Christy lived there, it's crazy to think we may have crossed paths at some point. Small world. I found y'all through Two Girls, One Ghost, and when Heather mentioned Mesquite, I knew I had to check y'all out. Anyway, I wanted to tell y'all about a thing that happened to me that's a little bit paranormal and a little bit true crime, but really an inconsequential close call when it's all said and done. The day this happened, my husband had left in the morning for a 2-week-long backcountry camping trip with the boys. It was a Sunday, and I remember we met our new neighbors who had just moved in and were out front watering the yard as I was bidding my beloved farewell. The house to the right of us. Bookmark this for later. I made plans to walk the dogs with the mom of the family the next morning and exchanged numbers for that purpose. I went back inside and went about my business. That night, I went to bed at about midnight and fell asleep relatively quickly, but began having a vivid dream that I was staying at my ex-boyfriend's house, why, and sleeping on the couch, which faced the glass front door and many more windows overlooking a large front porch. This was a dream house and didn't really actually represent any place in reality. I was perturbed by the exposure and turned off the lights to feel less vulnerable. I was just drifting off in the dream when I heard the doorbell ring and voices coming from the front porch. Then, back in reality, my dog barked, something he only does inside when he's startled by a loud noise, like a doorbell. Yes, ladies, the dream doorbell and voices were real. It was 2 a.m., I was home alone, and my doorbell had just rung. Was the dream foreshadowing, or was reality just blending into the dream world? I stayed silent. This couldn't be happening. The doorbell was followed by a knock, and it was at this time that I realized a few things. One, all the doors to the outside were on the other side of my house. I would have to pass by my front door with a window in it in order to reach any other exterior door. Obviously can't do that. They would see me. Two, we have a huge dog door on the back door. Like, I can fit through it, and I'm not a small person. And three, we have a knockoff ring-style doorbell, and the company had just been sold, and I hadn't installed the new app or synced it or even knew the password in order to remedy that. Fuck my life. I thought about going out the window in my bedroom, but the only escape from there was through the front yard. It was still chilly out, and there were leaves on the ground, so it would be noisy and potentially draw attention to my escape. Can't do that. I couldn't call my husband. He was camping and probably at a cell range, and he hadn't even met up with his friends yet. I wasn't going to be the kind of wife who guilted her husband into coming home because she was scared of things going bump in the night. So I called my friend who lived a few blocks away. She tried to convince me it was all in my head, that I had imagined it, but I heard my dog bark. I heard the doorbell ring. She confessed she and her spouse were entertaining company, and they were all inebriated and couldn't drive over to help scare off the interloper. What to do now? I considered calling my new neighbor who had just given me her number, but she's a mom and it was 2 a.m. and her kids had school in the morning. I didn't want to come off as a drama queen. That's not why she gave me her number. Yes, you may now recognize me for the traumatized, people-pleasing individual that I am. So I finally decided to call the police. The non-emergency line, of course. I didn't want to inconvenience them. They probably had real shit to deal with. Lucky for me, it was a slow night for the Denton PD, and they told me they would send over a unit right away and even stay on the phone with me. I was crying and asked them if they would announce themselves vocally before knocking or ringing the doorbell since I wanted to be sure it was them. They showed up within 5 minutes. A really slow night, apparently. No sirens, but lights on, and they parked in front of my new neighbor's house. I saw the lights through the blind, so I knew they were there, but they clearly didn't get my request to not knock, so I shrieked into the ear of the poor dispatcher before my mind caught up to the situation, and I was able to open the door for the officer. They pointed out my not ringing doorbell as if I were an idiot for not checking the footage. I explained that my stupidity lay elsewhere within the doorbell debacle. They told me they would now check the perimeter, and I watched through the back window as they did a sweep of my backyard. I also took this time to lock the dog door, only to see that I had also left my back door completely unlocked. The police returned to the front door, knocking again because it's funny to scare me, apparently, and reported they saw no one on premises and to have a good night. Not feeling reassured in the slightest, I shakily went back to bed with every light on in the house. Having locked all the doors and checked the windows, I curled into the fetal position with my head under the covers like a grown-ass woman who don't need no man, but who would really like it if her man was there all the same. Finally, it was time to wake up for work. I was a school bus driver at the time, so that meant leaving the house by 5:30 in the dark. My husband's an early riser, so I went ahead and finally called him as I was getting ready, not mentioning anything about my night because I still had to survive the 10-second walk in the dark to my car. I stalled by asking about his trip until I was safely in the car with the doors locked on my way to work. When I finally told my tale, he had pulled up the new doorbell app because there's a reason I married this man. He's a model adult / Boy Scout / gentleman / functioning member of society who had the updated app, and he sent me a screenshot of my late night visitor. I cried again because I wasn't crazy, but I also was not in any danger. I could tell that the woman in the bathrobe on my front porch was clearly in need of the help of a neighbor and not the cops. This was not my new neighbor friend, but my neighbor to the left. The reason I heard voices before the doorbell in my dream, because she was inadvertently locked out of her house and had been calling to someone inside to let her back in, and they couldn't hear her. She hoped a neighbor would let her in out of the cold or let her use the phone or something to that effect. I don't know this woman, and I believe she was actually the mother of the young man who lived in that house, and she had come to visit. She had no way of announcing herself that would have been reassuring or recognizable to me. If my husband were home, I'm sure we could have helped, but as a woman by myself who was raised by a single father who put the fear of stranger danger in my very soul, I was unable to be a helper that night. I assume she was able to finally get back inside, and hopefully she didn't notice the lights of the police car, because if she did, color me embarrassed. As a small child, someone rang our doorbell in the middle of the night, probably like 9-10 p.m. My dad was startled awake, but answered anyway. It was a nice older couple trying to get to our neighbor's house who was hosting a family gathering. My dad explained that sometimes robbers will ring the doorbell to see if anyone is home before they break in, which scared me as a kid. So I naturally assumed that that's what was happening. I even noted that they must have been watching our house and that my husband's vehicle wasn't in the driveway. Basically, I went full conspiracy theorist on myself and freaked the fuck out. It did nothing to prepare me. I just scared the shit out of myself. Thanks for the paranoia, Pops. Was able to relax and laugh at the absurdity of it all. And when I came home from my morning route to walk dogs with my new neighbor friend, she asked if I knew anything about the cop cars in front of our houses last night. I gave a recap of my night, and she told me not to hesitate to call anytime going forward, and that her husband is an ex-Marine, one of the good ones, not cocky or corrupt, and he's happy to help keep an eye on the house while my husband's out of town. So that's my saga. Almost paranormal with the dream, almost true crime, if only in my head in the moment, but in the end, just an inconsequential event with all the buildup of a horror movie and the relief of a comedy of errors. I hope you enjoyed my story. Thanks for reading. Pet tags. I attached some photos of my animal besties along with the photo of my late night visitor. Timber, our heroic doorbell announcer, the pup. Harvey Birdman, our young esquire who specializes in bird law and is a Maine Coon tabby mix. And Rue, like the soup, our rainbow kitty and my ragdoll familiar who grows grass in the front yard now. He loved to escape and eat grass in our struggling front yard, and now we have a lush green lawn thanks to him. Keep it creepy. Another Sarah in Denton.
Well, thank you, another Sarah in Denton. I hope our paths did cross at some point when I was there. Although, if you were at most of the places I was at, then I don't know how you're getting into those bars.
Yeah, those are grown-up hangout places for sure. College kids hangout places. But yeah, you see this poor gal with her bathrobe like, well, I might as well try the house next door. Not knowing it's a lady by herself, like under her covers.
But 2 a.m. when you can't see who is at the door and you're alone, I would not answer. But I also have that fear and have been told people will ring the doorbell to see if anybody's home before breaking in. So I would think that too. I'd probably,
I would call the cops.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess in my head, I'd be like, what am I even going to tell them? Somebody rang my doorbell.
Exactly.
And I'm afraid, but like, that's what they're there for. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like they didn't have anything else to do. So good on them for coming out and making you feel 0% better because they just said,
we didn't see anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. Bye.
I like it's like, you got a doorbell, you didn't check and see who it was from that. And you're like, yeah, thanks, officer. Yes. No, I can't log in. Actually, no, I'm an idiot.
That's a whole other thing that I don't want to get into right now.
Hard relate.
There is 0% that the neighbor did not see these lights and probably
they were like,
was like, I'm not going out there because I know that I'm the reason she just called the cops because I scared the shit out of her.
Exactly. Well, especially too, the neighbor had no way of knowing that you didn't have access to the video feed. So it's like, well, they probably saw me. I'm just a lady in a bathrobe. Like, it's fine. But oh man, comedy of errors indeed. And this sweet puppy looks like he is a very good door watchman.
Oh, I love all the kitties, those pretty blue eyes and the puppies. Yes. And this woman who we will not share because if, like you said, if somebody knows her, she would probably be mortified, but she definitely just looks like someone who got locked out.
Yeah, she looks more like, God damn it.
Yeah, she looks real irritated.
I'm freezing, which I have no problem with.
Yeah,
so
you're
mad.
like, it's cold as fuck. Yeah. I'm locked out of the house. My son's asleep in there and isn't hearing me. So now I'm like banging on a stranger's door, but
2 a.m.
You did all the things that I would have done too. So
for sure. Well,
good on you.
Good on you. Well, thank you, Sarah. And thanks for finding us through Two Girls, One Ghost.
Yeah, for sure.
Sinisterhood. We'll be right back. Well, this next one's from Nurse Betty, and the subject line is that a bomb? Hello, ladies. You can refer to me as Nurse Betty. Not my real name, but I've always used it at work. I enjoy your podcasts, the crime stories which you two handle with such respect and are incredibly well researched. I love your Freaky Friday stories as it provides a safe place for people to share their experiences. Thank you for all of that. And I love you two sharing your family and animals with us all. Shout out to Petal. Not sure if that's the correct spelling of his or her name. I only know that she identifies as a pig. My story. I'm a retired RN, specifically an ER trauma nurse, for most of my 42 years working. I have a million stories, some of which are tragic and many that are hilarious. I want to mention that in telling my stories, I do not mean to minimize the patient's emergency event because, real or not, it was very real to them. I also do not want to sound as if I'm making fun of anyone's plight. They are all worthy of an ER visit. Doctors and nurses and other staff do not sit around and make fun of patients, just some of the situations because they can happen to anyone. A little ER history. In the ER, we often get bomb threats. Luckily, they're almost always a hoax, and in my history in the ER with many bomb threats, they were always a hoax. The fact that they are a hoax for the most part does not make it any easier to deal with because they're real until proven otherwise and always manage to put an ER or a hospital overall in a state of chaos, especially a large teaching hospital. It was 1985 and I was working the night shift. Most of my shifts were nights by choice, less administrators to deal with. I was working in a large teaching hospital at the time. I'd been there for over 16 years and was considered a veteran nurse, which just means a piece of old furniture. We had just had a bomb threat recently and our nerves were still on edge over that incident. So we were sensitive to all things that could be a bomb. This included empty food bags, trash cans, backpacks, etc. Every little noise was reminiscent of a live bomb. Buzzing, ticking, all that. Working in the ER, there are so many noises that we had to be hypervigilant. Due to the recent scares, we had several meetings to discuss how to recognize a potential bomb, what questions to ask the caller who made the threat, what to do with the patients in the ER, and whom to call. We were all experts at bomb recognition and procedure. Well, we felt we were anyway. My story begins one full moon night on a Friday night, which already posed a problem as you're all aware of those full moon Fridays in the ER. Yes, ladies and Sinister hoodies, they are real. I always wanted that to be a song title, Full Moons and Friday Nights in the ER. It was an unusually quiet night, but also a famous saying in the ER, do not say the Q word or shit will hit the fan. Also true. Staff, which consisted of 2 ER nurses, an ER tech, a doctor, and other staff members that liked hanging out in the ER when it was subdued, were all sitting around talking about the bomb threats, making jokes and sharing possible scenarios. The front desk bell rang, letting us know there was a patient that needed to be triaged and checked in to be seen. So I got up and went to the front to do that. A young man around 20-ish looking in minor distress walked up to me. I asked him to sit and proceeded to ask the obligatory questions. Because he looked a bit in distress, I asked him what he was in the ER for. I wanted to make sure it was not something I had to bring him in immediately to the back and put him in a room. Before I could get an answer, I heard it. A faraway buzzing sound. Faint, but very much audible. I stopped him from talking with a long shh, hold on please. He continued to try and tell me his problem, but I was on hyperbomb mode. I could see he was obviously breathing and I saw no obvious injuries, and he was moving slowly but not limping or in apparent pain. I went back and told the other nurse, Wendy, to come with me. I asked the tech to call the house supervisor and ask her to come to the ER stat. Yeah, we do use that word a lot. Wendy and I walked to the front and I told her I thought I heard what sounded like a bomb. She nervously and hurriedly moved along with me, the two bomb experts, to identify said bomb and proceed with bomb ID protocol. Wendy, the front desk tech, and I stood in hushed silence, putting our ears out into the air for a better detection of that faint sound, even closing our eyes to give our hearing a better chance. We could hear it clearly. Bzzz, bzzz, bzzz. The man trying to check in appeared in even worse distress, so I managed to bring him back and put him in a room for safety, away from the sound that we were sure was a bomb. When I went back to the front, Wendy, the tech, and now also the house supervisor were walking around trying to find the buzzing that had now disappeared. The nursing supervisor had not heard it at all as she had just gotten there, but Wendy and the tech were explaining that it had been there and quite audible. I agreed. She made a sweep of the ER and was trying to decide how to handle this possible major emergency, so she went to her office while telling us she had to call the administrator on call for advice. I went into the room to deal with my patient and continued triaging his situation. And there it was again, that faint, faraway humming right in that room. Bzz, bzz, bzz. I put down my nurse tools and excused myself and walked out to get Wendy. We called the supervisor and brought her into the room. Yes, I hear it, she said. We all walked out as we did not want to scare the patient. She asked us to get the patient to a designated area away from the sound. She was going to call the administrator back as she had witnessed the sound herself. We were on edge and on high adrenaline at this time, feeling scared, but also like true detectives, true heroes saving lives, saving the hospital. Okay, maybe we had wild imaginations. Other patients started checking in and I went and moved my patient, but the sound kept following me. The poor patient finally said, that noise is coming from me. I stopped and immediately realized that I was right in front of the bomber. My heart started to beat so fast. I started to perspire. My throat was dry. I squeaked out what do you want? He sheepishly told me that he had a vibrator up his rectum that had gotten away from him and it was still vibrating. I, at that moment, felt so stupid and knew I had to go and have administration abort all the bomb protocol. I gave him a gown, told him to undress, and said we'd be right with him. I ran out, but it was too late. I saw the fire department, the administrator on call, patients being moved to a designated safe area. The doctor and the other staff started moving fast and evacuating as they had been taught. I grabbed the supervisor and told her that the bomb was in fact a dildo high up in a rectum, still vibrating. It took a very long time to live this down. We were constantly the butt, no pun intended, of a joke in all departments as the news had traveled to all 10 floors of this hospital. Staff would walk by me and make that bzz, bzz, buzzing sound and laugh. The supervisor and administrator were pissed off and embarrassed, and I don't even want to mention what the firemen thought of us. My reaction after the embarrassment was that of, it was a mock trial and we all did great. And yes, we extricated the would-be bomb from his bum as that was a common problem in the ER and we were quite good at it. I often embarrass myself in the ER and other departments as I worked there 18 years in the ER as house supervisor, pediatric ER nurse, and translator. I loved that hospital and all hundreds of staff were like family. I also blew up a microwave oven in the cafeteria. And yes, the fire department was involved and evacuated 3 floors as well. Pure chaos. Another story for the future. I hope you enjoyed this. ER stories can be quite funny.
Oh,
holy shit.
My
Nurse
lordy,
Betty.
lordy, Nurse Betty. This poor guy is like, if everyone would stop, I can let you know what's going on here.
Pardon me.
Sir, there's a bomb.
I just want
Sir?
Could I just
be quiet because I'm trying to hear where that bomb is coming from.
Let me just turn around. It's like, but I like that he's like, it's coming from me. And she's like, he's got the device on himself. And it's like, no, in himself.
In himself.
It's
the
in
call is coming from literally inside the house.
Inside the rectum is where the call is coming from. To be like the fireman that you're like, we're ready to save it. And it was like, it was a dildo. It was a dildo. We can all go home.
Everybody,
dildo.
Everybody, 10th floor, did you hear up there? It's just a dildo. It's just a dildo.
Don't worry about it. It's a dildo.
First of all, I love that it, quote, got away from him and was still vibrating.
He probably fell on it, honestly. Like, that's what they all say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're in the shower and your dildo's in there and
happens.
It's already on and you're accidentally fall just ass first onto it. It happens all the time.
They got to put strings on those things like you would a tampon so you can pull it out if you need to.
Or like you leash your kid.
Because the ER visit is not cheap. Like, you know what it should be? No, they need to put, it has a Velcro strap around your wrist and then like a cord, like a curly cord, and then the other end is there. So if it gets stuck up in you and then you yank your hand away, at least it turns it off.
Yeah, so like a treadmill.
Yeah, jet ski, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
my treadmill has a key like that.
If
only my vibrator did, so it's getting stuck up inside.
For real, it gets stuck up inside you. Paris and I watched Eddie Huang's podcast. It's called Canal Street Dreams, and he's like a chef. He's really funny. He hosted it with his wife. They did a whole episode where they talk about this thing called the Auto Blow 5000, and it's like this. It's like bigger than this. It's like bigger than a tissue box. It's like twice as big, and then it's like the end of a tube. It's like a electronic, not a shake weight. What do you call it? Fleshlight. Like, but you just put the whole thing on it, and then it's a machine, and then the machine syncs with videos that they license. So then if somebody's doing something in the video, the machine does the thing to you. But when it's not being used, it's just like turned on its side and it's just like this mouth, like in the bottom of the, it's so dystopian looking and crazy. But I was like, this is the first one, not the last one. And people who maybe
prototype
need it for stuff, whatever. I don't know. I can't fathom all the sexual dysfunctions that might be existence in the world. But I was like, this isn't going to be good for some people. Like, some people are going to just spend all day with the fucking toaster on their dick and just, what if it yanks it off? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. What if it yanks it off?
You're going to have a lot of those, Nurse Betty. You're going to have to figure out how to remove them.
Instead of them getting stuck in there, this one's yanking things off.
They're going to get stuck on it. Mm-hmm. It's, from everybody I've talked to that has worked in an ER, they all have multiple stories of having to remove some sort of an object from someone's ass. So if you get something stuck up your ass and you're like, I really don't want to go to the ER, that would be so embarrassing, go. Because
there's no better place.
They've already done it. And what are you going to do? Wait for it to just the batteries to die? And I mean, you still got to get it out of there somehow. How do you drive? And when she's like, sir, can you take a seat? No, I can't actually. I'm going to stand for this appointment.
Yeah. Would you be willing to sit here and wait for us? Impossible, but I'll stand over here up next to this. I'm going to lean on this desk and now your water is like jiggling in its cup.
Yeah. And everyone's like, is there an earthquake? What is
a dinosaur?
To June. I told you when I had to get that IV and the lady came to the house and I asked her what her most fucked up ER story was. It was the Corona bottle.
Mm-hmm. Corona bottle, candelabra.
Which is what caused the suction fit. But she was like, it happens all the time. So yeah, I believe you, Nurse Betty, that you're really good at getting them out because people stick things places and sometimes they don't come out.
And if you stick something up there and it doesn't come out, like you said, there's nobody better than an ER trauma nurse to get up there and get it for you. They know what they're doing.
Because what they have, like, just stomachs of steel to be able to, like, see the things they do day in and day out and just have, like, I mean, Tommy would be a good ER
100%.
Nurse. Unflappable. He'd be like, oh, yeah, this is the 16th dildo I've removed from somebody's ass today. Just lay down.
But I'm always like a trauma nurse too. You've seen something like way worse that day. And so it's like, your whole body is intact and I just have to pull something out of you. Cool. Like nothing's like ripped up or cut up or smashed or, shot or whatever. Yeah. It's like, it's just, it's just up there.
It's just up there.
It's just something in my butt.
It got away from
no big deal. But it's expensive.
That's
put a string on your
$900 dildo that you
put a
just
string on your dildo.
moved out of your ass.
Was it worth it? It was not worth it.
Probably not. No matter how enjoyable that was, the having to get to the, and then not only are you like so mortified to have to go, but then you're the reason that they think a bomb is on premises.
And you're like, I was trying to tell him this whole time and they would not.
Yeah, and they wouldn't listen.
He's just over there like,
this is like a Curb episode.
It so is. You caused all this crazy stuff. Well, Nurse Betty, if you've got any other wild ER stories or any of y'all listening, we love them. Any type of stories.
Yeah. ER stories,
it's like a hotel where it's like you just don't know what's going to come through.
No. It could be, it's like Grey's Anatomy. You never knew what you were going to get on that either. It could be a dildo. Could be a fucking bomb from a Civil War reenactment went off in somebody.
See?
I remember that vividly.
You can never predict. So if there are other Nurse Bettys out there, send it in. We want to hear from you.
Please do. And I just recently saw that show's coming back.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. Good for them.
Yeah, I never watched it originally, but
Me neither.
heard it was good. So if you liked it, I think it's coming back. So
Congrats.
Yes, congrats to all, and congrats to everyone that sent in their story, and thank you to everyone that sent in your stories today. If you have an odd but true story, maybe you've encountered Bigfoot, you've seen a UFO, you had a brush with true crime, or you felt the presence of an otherworldly being, presence is something. Send them in at sinisterhood.com/Freaky Friday. What if it had settings and like somehow you move, you like shift in this, and you're like, oh God. That's when it reverses. It gets turned on like ultra mode and you just can't deal with it anymore.
What do I get this thing off of me?
Well, speaking of freaky, if you got something creepy caught on camera, you found a weird or unexplainable clip online, maybe you have a funny video you need us to see, send it our way and we'll live react to it during Sunday Scaries, our weekly live stream over on Patreon every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Central. It's totally free. You just enter your email, you get access. That way, nothing has to be edited.
Yeah.
You get to see.
It's raw, baby.
And you also get to hear.
Mm-hmm. Like,
because sometimes we do a jam session in the middle of it because we just need to feel something.
Someone posted on the Patreon page, like, my stream froze while we were
saw
like,
that. It's such a good
mid-air.
picture.
It's so good. We got to make that the new header in the Facebook group. But
I think we should.
It's such a good time. Yeah. If you didn't hear us singing Enigma, Sadness,
Return of Innocence.
What is it? Return of Innocence. That's what it is. Return to Innocence.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking good, dude. It touches your soul.
So good.
Touches your soul.
If you want to know how many times I've listened to that in the past 24 hours, you can follow me on Spotify, and it's probably concerning because it's probably like 20 times in a row I've listened to that song.
Man, it does something to you. It does.
It does. Well, if you like our free episodes like this one, you'll love our Patreon bonus content. You can join for free to see what we're up to next, or dive into over 1,000 hours of bonus content like Judge Christie, where I rule on petty grievances you bring before the court. True Crime Headlines, where we break down the latest news and updates in true crime. Heather Saves, where anything Heather has found late night scrolling can be discussed. And Am I the Asshole? Unpopular opinions and other subreddits that we feel require our input.
Yeah, we got a lot of good ones coming up. We've got a Dear Sinister coming up and Unpopular Opinions coming up. So stay tuned for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like if you don't know what any of this that we're talking about and you haven't been on Patreon, you can go join for a free trial. That's not just a free member, which you can stay a free member forever. If you do a free trial, it's where you join for a week at any of the tiers, check out all the perks, cancel anytime without getting charged if you cancel before the trial is over. But stick around, get an annual membership, you get 1 month free, and what else you get?
Ad-free episodes, monthly live stream Q&As. We just had one. So as you're hearing this, you could go back to our Patreon and watch it because they're all available to rewatch. We do quarterly live bonus content that we let you all vote on what you want to see. Weekly audio bonus content, mini-sodes, merch discounts. For free members, we have a whole backlog of free stuff too, just for signing up. And most importantly, a community of the best listeners on the whole internet.
Absolutely. Head over to sinisterhood.com, click shop on the top banner to to check out merch like t-shirts, mugs, totes, stickers, and even clothes for your kiddos.
While you're on our website, you can also review the show and submit topics and cases you'd like us to cover. You can submit your stories for Freaky Friday and your videos for Sunday Scaries. You'll also find fun things like topic-based playlists and tickets for Crime Wave at Sea 2025 and Season of the Witch, October 4th at Texas Theater in Dallas. Crime Wave at Sea. I can't believe it's literally a month away, a little more than a month away, November 3rd through 7th, I guess. Yeah. 2 months? Yeah. I don't know.
2 months. I mean, 60 days-ish, a little bit more, 75. I don't know. It's get to the point that I have our plane tickets on hold. We got to book them. We're getting down to old Fort Lauderdale, baby. And we're going to get on that ship with Henry and Ed and Dan and Linz and everybody fun. We're going to have a blast to go to. And there's like a literal handful of tickets left. So go to our website, sinisterhood.com/live shows and get all the info on that and on Season of the Witch.
Yes, we just found out too. We're going to do another recording on the ship with Henry and Ed, which is going to be a ton of fun. Those guys.
Oh man, they're the best.
Man, I'm very excited about that. But we'll also do a show. Every podcast will have their own show, their own live recording, fan meetups with creators. Plus, we're all just like vacationing together and going to the Bahamas and shit.
Let's get the fuck out of here on a boat.
Do it. We're going through the Bermuda Triangle too.
Triangle, baby. I can't wait. Go to sinisterhood.com/live shows and get yours now. Follow us over on Instagram and Threads at Sinisterhood Pod. Like us on Facebook at Sinisterhood. Follow us on YouTube and TikTok at Sinisterhood Podcast to watch clips from the episodes, live streams, and more. And if you are looking for a unique and personal gift for the Sinisterhood fan in your life, maybe you just want to treat yourself to a pep talk. Book a cameo now. From happy birthday to birth announcements to congratulations on anything, we would love to celebrate with you by creating a customized video that can be immediately viewed and sent. It's a thoughtful gift. It's perfect for when you're not trying to run out and find and buy something at the store. And it's totally unique and custom. You know, they don't already have it because we make it new every time at cameo.com/Sinisterhood. Where can people find you on the internet?
I'm on Instagram and Threads at Christy M. Wallace and TikTok at Christy or GTFO. Heather?
I'm on the internet at Heather versus the world.
As always, the devil rules the airwaves.
Keep it creepy.